I may drive that Rystyle G5, but I've been in the automotive industry basically my entire life. I was a professional technician for the last 8 years, 3 of which were in an aftermarket facility, modifying trucks, mostly bed covers, lift kits, long travel, etc. You name it, I've pretty much done it to a truck, so I know a thing or two about a thing or two. Now first on the list we have kind of sort of influential, but it was more influential later in its life. We have the 99 to 2006 Chevy Silverado with the 4.8, 5.3, and 6 liter. Now if you know anything about these trucks, you know that they came with the LS engine, and they made millions of them. I mean millions of them. There's engines galore. So with that, in the last 10, 15 years, everybody's been doing LS swaps, taking the engines out of those trucks that have been wrecked, whatever, that they pick up cheap, and they're taking those engines, putting twin turbos on them, superchargers, big cams, heads, whatever they want, and putting them in literally anything else, Camaros, Corvettes, Nissan 240s, you name it, they put them in there. So because they came factory with an LS engine, that automatically makes them one of the most influential pickups of all time. The engine alone has spurred an entire, Holley LS Fest. It spurred an entire industry within the automotive industry. You have all of the LS swaps that everybody does, all of the manufacturers that make parts for all of those LS vehicles, and they literally have an entire event, Holley LS Fest, for any and all things LS swapped, or factory LS. Definitely got to be one of the most influential pickup trucks, maybe one of the most influential vehicles of all time in the automotive industry. Now even if you take out the fact that it came with an LS engine and the fact that it's influential is because of the engine, let's just take the truck for example. The 99 to 06 Silverado is one of the most widely modified vehicles in all of the truck market. Now the next truck we're going to talk about is extremely influential. It has its own industry all around it. It's one of the most popular vehicles on the road today. Insane amount of aftermarket support. Literally has multiple industries surrounding this one vehicle. This one vehicle sparked an entire industry, an entire type of motorsport, an entire hobby, all based on one vehicle for the most part. I mean, people did it with other vehicles, but if you talk about this is probably the first vehicle you think of. Now we're talking about the Toyota Tacoma. Now if you're thinking overland, the Tacoma's gotta be the top, if not one of the top, very first vehicles you think about when you think of overlanding. It has an incredible amount of aftermarket support. Industries have freaking just swarmed this vehicle because people love it. The aftermarket support's there to do anything you want with it. And it's one of the most affordable pickup trucks you can get into on the market these days. Now, a lot of you truck people are saying, it's a V6, it sounds stupid. Shut up. Shut up. Get back in your 5.3 99 to 06 Silverado that you cut the muffler off of and you gutted the cats in, and go. We'll be listening to you for the next 2 miles while you go down the street. I understand it's not a V8, it doesn't have the most power, but what it does have is an insane platform that you can lift, do overland stuff with. You could do long travel kits with it and go rip through the desert, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. And besides all of the aftermarket stuff like performance and suspension wise, you can't break one if you tried. The Toyota Tacoma has got to be one of the most reliable vehicles, not just trucks, vehicles made in the last 15 years. Toyota has always been known for its reliability, and the Tacoma has definitely proven that standard that everybody thinks about Toyota. It's super reliable, you couldn't break it if you tried, and it's the last truck still made with a manual. Now, we don't know what's going to come out in 2023, what they're going to do updating it, but we do know that if it's anything like the new Tundra or Sequoia, it's going to be sick. We're going to take a quick pause to get Little Caesars. Be back soon. Package secured. We'll get back to the trucks. We're gonna time out. Little Caesars has new stuffed crazy bread. You saw it here first. First taste. Oh my God, look at the cheese. Look at it. Look at the cheese. We're gonna get it going. Is this DoorDasher in there? Is she leaving an Escalade, bro? Dang, I gotta start DoorDashing. You see nothing. You see nothing. You see nothing. No, I'm not on my phone making a YouTube video. getting a fountain drink. You see nothing? You see nothing? Now the next truck's gonna be the Ford Raptor. This is the first vehicle that they ever came out with like long travel style suspension. Gotta be one of the most influential vehicles of the market because one, it played to the long travel crowd, the desert running crowd, California, Vegas, all of those guys. They didn't really have a truck. All of their stuff had to be aftermarket. And then Ford came out with a factory option to just be ready for the desert. And the new Raptor with the twin turbo V6, chef's kiss, minus again the V8 that all you 99 to 06 Chevy drivers with the cutoff exhaust and the no cats hate. I get it, it's not a V8, but you gotta admit, that's a sick truck. Now, because Ford made the Raptor, it sparked an entire trend. Most people didn't know what a pre-runner was, what long travel was, none of this stuff before the Ford Raptor came out, and they were like, oh, that's a nice truck. Bought one, kind of found out the scene, and now the long travel desert racing experience has kind of exploded. We have like Dirt King, Baja kits, all of these other like local businesses that make all of these long travel kits for a whole bunch of different trucks. Not just the Ford Raptor, obviously, but the Ford Raptor definitely inspired a huge spark among the automotive industry with all of the pre-runner and long travel trucks that there are today. Now, because of the Ford Raptor, not only do you have all of this aftermarket support and all of these other companies that get to thrive and flourish and support tons of families across the United States, there's another manufacturer who wanted to get in on the action. Ram. Ram made the TRX and it came out and everybody lost their freaking minds. Similar long travel suspension up front and coil springs in the back. Definitely killer suspension setup, but the most important thing about the TRX is you have that 6.2 liter supercharged V8 Hellcat engine making 700 horsepower. The thing's freaking bonkers. Everybody lost their minds when that truck came out. But you gotta think it's dad. You gotta think it's papa. The Raptor is the only reason that truck ever came to fruition. We're gonna try to give it some beans up here at the stoplight, but my drink will fall out of the cup holder if I accelerate too hard. So I gotta hold the drink, shift, and hold you guys all at the same time. Power! 40. All that noise, all that fun that I just had. And look, I didn't even break the speed limit. 45. That's a win, man. Y'all talking smack on my G5, but this car's so much fun. Y'all are just haters. Now, you guys heard me mention Ram just a little bit with the TRX and how it was inspired by the Raptor and blah, 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 blah. But Ram gets its own love kind of in a different way. The Ram SRT10 Viper truck. This truck came out way ahead of its time. If they were to re-release this truck today with a reasonable-ish asking price, maybe similar to the TRX, that truck would sell, oh my God, I don't even know how many trucks they would sell if they like remade the SRT10 pickup. It was low, came in a manual, had one of the sickest powertrains of all time. I mean, you don't see them a whole lot and most people totally forget about them. But that truck in and of itself kind of opened a lot of other manufacturers' eyes and a lot of the aftermarket's eyes to what's possible with the truck. And it might be responsible for the clapped out 99 Silverado single cab short bed with a 1700 horsepower LS spanking Lamborghinis on the streets. Definitely way ahead of its time. Definitely has to be one of the most influential pickup trucks the world has ever seen. Now, the last truck we're going to be talking about is super, super rare. So rare they only made 3,000 of them. It's the 1991 to 1993 GMC Cyclone. Now, the reason why this truck is so cool is because it was all-wheel drive, lightweight, 280 horsepower, 350 foot-pounds of torque. Now, when you're thinking early 90s, I mean, that's an 800 horsepower truck today from the factory. All-wheel drive, super cool truck. The sad part is I think it was too ahead of its time. People weren't really interested in like the performance trucks. They were still using their trucks to work. But I think if they were to remake this truck or even like the Typhoon, the SUV version today out of an Acadia or like a GMC Canyon with the twin turbo V6 out of the Chevys, dude, that truck would sell so fast. That would be one of the most popular trucks today. I'd probably buy one if it was reliable. If it's not reliable, which it probably won't be because it's a Chevy, go check out my last video talking about the AFM problems. Chevy's got more problems than in their V8, son. But we're not here to talk about that. The GMC Cyclone definitely earns like the granddaddy spot on one of the most iconic trucks of all time, even though it really didn't do a whole lot to the industry. The idea of that truck then translates so much into what people want today. You have the Raptor, the Trimmer, the Lightning, all of these cool, awesome trucks that are coming out today kind of sort of have the Cyclone to think about it. GM was way ahead of its time producing this truck, so far ahead of their time that they were too far ahead of their time and nobody bought them, and they only made 3,000 of them, and they kind of flunked. Which is sad, but that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any other trucks that I didn't talk about that you're like, you didn't talk about this truck, leave a comment down below. We'll talk about it. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button. Make sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Thank you guys for watching. Squatchy out.